Why is recorded in front of a live studio audience.
I just love this story for so many different reasons.
Hold, please.
Okay.
May I?
What?
Are you interviewing someone?
We're
You may.
Heidi.
Hello.
You need to come to Northport and have a little fun with us.
This is what I keep hearing.
Yes, we have a beautiful sunset happening right now.
Oh. And I'm taking someone away from that?
No. She's
Okay.
not.
She doesn't care.
I'm
She
not-
doesn't.
I'm a
Yeah, you're not invited.
Nanny, and she's a little blasé about it. But
Okay.
you should come and bring your beautiful wife and your beautiful boys.
I meant the children part.
I understand what you meant.
No, I would love to come there. You and I can put our toes in the sand. It sounds wonderful.
You could go buy some kimonos from.
Oh, tell me more.
He doesn't need a kimono.
What's
but
the name of the kimono store? And if it is not Kimono My House.
It's not.
This is Why, with your hosts, Heidi Hedquist and Luke Poling.
My family has, they've discovered 19 hard shard,
I'm sorry?
19 crimes wine.
Mm-hmm. Oh, because it's Australian.
Well, and they like to learn about the criminals and all that stuff. So
Sure, who doesn't?
they have discovered the hard shard.
Okay.
And apparently no one in the family, though we have discussed this until today, knew that the hard shard is not your average Chardonnay. It's called hard shard for a reason. So
Yeah, it's not just marketing.
mm-mm.
So a video has gone viral on the TikTok
Oh,
of a Southwest Airlines pilot saying, so I'll just read you the transcript of what the pilot said.
okay.
He gets on the intercom and says, "Here's the deal. If this continues while we're on the ground, I'm going to have to pull back to the gate. Everyone's going to have to get off. We're going to have to get security involved, and vacation is going to be ruined."
Oh, those are fighting words.
I know. It is because somebody on the airplane was airdropping nude photos to people on the flight.
Just random people?
Just random. And so he said, whatever that airdrop thing is, quit sending naked pictures. Let's get yourself to Cabo.
Wow. So nobody got arrested. They just got reprimanded.
So if I do come to Northport with or without
Yes.
the family,
Yes.
I will be taking Southwest Airlines.
Clearly, with the hopes that you will get some photos
Somebody will be airdropping me nudes.
that you then can share with all of us when you
I
get here.
know.
Like that's like the hostess gift that keeps on giving.
It really is. That's a very, very good point.
I think that's lovely.
And a statement to NBC News, the spokesperson for Southwest, I can't say that.
How
Said,
much hard
quote,
shard
this,
have you had?
not enough. Said, quote, "The safety, security, and well-being of customers and employees is the Southwest team's highest priority at all times." When made of a, okay, so none of those three things are factor into the story.
True.
When
But-
made aware of a potential problem, circle that one, not a part of the story, our employees address issues to support the comfort of those traveling with us. That is like, I need an extra blanket, I could use a pillow.
True.
That is
But I
not
do-
someone keeps sending me nudes.
But I also feel like, I don't know if this is still the case because I haven't flown Southwest in a few years, but I know that their whole MO for a while there was they were the fun airline, right? And the pilots
You're
were
now free to move about
fun,
around the
right,
yeah,
all
okay.
that stuff. So I do feel that the pilots seemingly handled this in the keeping of the mantra of Southwest Airlines. Like cops didn't come, everybody still got to go to Cabo. It was just like, let's just all go
Quit being a
get to the
dink.
beach.
Right.
Like, quit being a dink. Share your nudes with people you know.
Exactly. We could all be naked on the beach in Tahiti right now
Right,
if
like-
you idiots didn't quit
Right.
airdropping stuff. It's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Well, I wonder how they found out. Like, did they send them to a flight attendant or the pilot, or did a passenger complain?
that's a good point. The story doesn't say how.
Right.
It was just that photos were being airdropped to people on the plane. So he must have
How do you know
He.
it's a
I don't
he?
know. I know. I don't know why I keep gendering it. This person
Because
could.
if it was you or me, I would be the one sending. So,
Oh yeah, and I'd be the one hammering that uh, air flight attendant bell till it broke off. To like, can you knock this up?
well, because only if you knew it was me. If you thought it was somebody else, you just let those babies fly. You'd
Oh,
be
you
like,
just right click on that one. Yeah. We also just put a parental advisory sticker on everything, so have at it.
So we can cuss.
Yes, exactly. Because looking at your body of work, really, I feel like
Yeah.
it's
I mean,
really.
we've been waiting for the chance to get to
I feel like that. Yeah, yeah.
Just want to let loose all this family-friendly kid stuff. I mean,
So I mean, I feel like it's easier to talk about what you guys haven't been doing than what you have been. Because like I look down your bio and I just get tired.
we've been pretty busy.
add a 1-year-old to that. And
Right,
we're-
which just that's a whole nother level of insanity.
Yes, but it's a welcome circus, I guess.
Right. So now you guys, I guess you went to Nashville for the pandemic and then ended up being like, we should stay here?
Well, I got pregnant.
We found
and
out she was pregnant, which kind of told us what we should do at that point. You know,
Yeah,
we were
we
just
just got a little pandemic fatigued in LA. We were in like our small apartment, and we decided to just come to Nashville. We had lived here before, and we're like, we just need some air, and we were just gonna Airbnb for a few months, and then life kind of took over, and we decided to stay because it's a great place for work-life balance.
Yeah,
And-
definitely.
And we have a great community here. Everyone that we know does music and family, and they do it well, and we support each other and help each other out. So we decided to hang out for a while, and it's really been fun to be back.
Yeah, and LA, it doesn't seem very family friendly, or is it just where I'm going when I'm in LA?
I mean, there's definitely people doing it, right? Like there's families there, and
Right.
things, but it doesn't feel as it just feels a little more separated. I think people do a great job of like compartmentalizing their lives there, where I think here it's a little more transparent. Like people are just like, I'm canceling the session because we have a poop emergency. I'm just gonna tell you. Like it's
Right.
not because of anything else, and we're not like too cool to tell you what's happening. And I know you'll understand because you're in the same situation. And I just think people are more transparent with it here, and they're definitely dealing with poop in LA for sure. But
Definitely.
but they're
Yeah.
not telling you about it. They're acting like they've got a bigger meeting or a bigger set. They're too
Yeah.
cool to-
Well, it's those floor to ceiling windows, I think.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
All that sunshine.
Exactly.
No,
So
it's a great town. We love LA too. Like it's
Yeah, LA
It's a
has
great
like kind of
place.
a special place in our heart because
Yeah.
we were there for 10 years and we felt like our careers kind of took off out there. So it's we definitely have like a soft spot for it. But right now it's good to be in Nashville around family and friends
and that's just a fun town.
it's
It
cool.
is. Mhm.
It's cool.
So what have you been working on recently? Because just all the stuff that's coming out this year, you've got Rainbow High, Rugrats, I mean, a bunch of other things. What are you currently working on now?
Well, there's a couple things we can't talk about yet, which is such a bummer because
Which we're hoping.
we would love to talk about it soon, but
Do you want to tell us what it rhymes with?
I feel like we probably can't say that.
Fine, fine.
Well, then if it doesn't,
Well, of course, you don't want to, yeah, I get it.
Right.
we don't want to
But
put it out.
we
in the
also
universe.
signed an NDA, which is probably the more
That's true.
That's a little
Pressing
stronger
thing.
than wanting to jinx it, yeah.
Exactly. But no, we just did something for Hot Wheels, which is really cool. They're like
That was really fun because it was for the monster trucks. But we're doing that. We're doing a bunch of LOL still, a lot of commercials, and it just seems like the work kind of just keeps. We're as busy as we want to be, which is really great.
Definitely. And how does one get into that world of children's film and television?
it's been so wonderfully accidental for us.
Mhm.
We both started in the artist realm. Like I was a singer-songwriter, Josh is in a band, and we came to Nashville thinking we wanted to, work on our own artistry, but also get cuts on artist records and kind of go up that ladder of, the way you progress it's changing, but back then there was an order about how you rose
Right.
up that ladder, and we just did not know any other way to have a successful music career. We just kind of saw the people before us, and ever since we've kind of been working, everything changes like moment to moment, right? Like it's just been, so hard to kind of navigate what the music industry is. How do you make money? Then streaming, then no one's making money, and like how do you do it? And we kind of stumbled into going to LA, coming from Nashville, going to LA, and just realizing how different and multimedia everything creating was there. You can write music, but also it could be for a video game, and it could be for a brand, and it can be for an artist who's in a video game, and like it's just limitless. And we kind of stumbled into it, and we were out there working with an amazing, very successful songwriter who's been a mentor for us named Sam Hollander, and he, had a Disney Channel gig kind of come down his pipeline, and he was like, hey, take a crack at this. And I was like, yeah, no worries. I've literally been training for this my entire life. Like,
So that just set it off?
like put me in coach.
Just,
and,
yeah.
Yeah, and we got it, and it was the first thing we had ever pitched for, and it just kind of like turned a light on in my head that I was like, oh, there's so much we could do in music that we never even knew about. And we just leaned into it. We didn't have an idea about what our careers would look like at that point. We just were kind of like, let's open ourselves up, and whatever's out there, we're gonna just go full force and try to bring ourselves into it.
And I remember even just being out there thinking, like when we moved out there in 2011, and even just kind of having the conversation, like, hey, let's not have any preconceived notions of what our careers should be, or what we think it should. Let's open ourselves up to just doing anything and seeing where it goes. And LA is such a great town for that, because like she was saying earlier, it's like there's so much going on there that if you open yourself up and you allow your passions to kind of evolve and do different things, like there's something there for you. There's definitely opportunity. And that's just kind of what happened with us. And now it's to the point where we really enjoy the work, and we're successful doing it, and we have a ball, and we can do it together, which is great, and we just have our little studio here, and we just make music, and it's fun to see it out there.
So what you're saying is you guys have all the ways to be WICKED?
Nice.
So what thank you.
We got it all here.
I've spent some time with that song, believe it or not, with
Have
two children of
you?
my own. Yes.
Oh,
nice.
how old are your kids?
8 and 10 now, but I think 6 when Descendants 2 dropped.
Oh,
That is
So,
prime
yeah.
Descendants age. Yeah.
Yeah, it might as well have had a bullseye painted on him. So,
That's what we were going for.
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
yeah, as my car speakers will tell you, great job.
Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah, we never know whether to like apologize to parents or we're just like sorry, like we know.
But it's got to be great. Like, in some ways, it seems like such an odd niche to be writing in, but then you know very quickly whether or not somebody likes this. An 8-year-old's not going to BS you and be like, yeah, I really love the intention that you're going for here.
They're brutal.
Yeah.
They don't care.
That's
It's
so
just
true, and they're absolutely amazing authenticity detectors. They know when you're not having fun. They know when you're writing to write for something, when you're pretending to write pop songs for kids. Like, we've seen a lot of people try to cross over into this lane from, alt rock or other genres or other types of careers. And, if you're just trying to kind of get a piece of the pie and like expand your income, and you don't truly find joy with it, I feel like it flushes you out very quickly.
That's very true.
Because they know.
Mhm.
And you know, and I think you could burn out quickly if you're not like really locked into it and you don't find the joy and you just don't love what you're doing or writing.
So many of the people we talk to who are writers, they're following kind of the, I want to write about this, I want to explore this subject, I want to talk about this thing in my life. How much is it harder to be writing from the perspective of a character? Is that harder or easier for you?
I think, well, I mean, it could be either or because, you know, sometimes we enjoy writing for characters, especially when you're working with you know, the directors and the producers with the script. Like
Mm-hmm.
we love actually reading scripts ahead of time and then getting inside of a character and kind of doing that. So that's a whole other skill set that, you know, you don't really use if you're just kind of sitting around trying to write for a band or for an artist or something like that. So I don't know if it's harder. I mean, I think some people might find it harder.
Some people might find it easier because you don't, you're able to kind of put on a different persona and, and also
Mm-hmm.
say something that you might be, a little intimidated or not sure if you can say it. You have this like kind of avatar you can, channel it through, which somebody might say it's easier, but I kind of don't see it as one or the other. I feel like every time I get to really put myself into it, it usually works out better.
Right.
If I'm just looking at it like I'm writing this song like as this person or as this character or bunny rabbit or whatever, whatever it might
Mm-hmm.
be, it kind of it's fulfilling on like another level because you're like I want to say something here, like we have a chance to really, you know it doesn't all have to be surface level and fluff. Like kids are incredibly emotional and they're incredibly discerning, and they're feelers. And I think when we can actually like hit on something within a song, it's extra special because it's not just like, oh, this is a party jam, and there's tons of that, right? Like it's all about having fun, and sometimes it's silly, but a lot of times we get to really write stuff that has like a platform or like has a message, and we really love that because we get to dig in and kind of bring ourselves to it in our experience from either being a kid or now having one, which is cuckoo crazy.
When you're reading scripts, is there ever a character that you guys fought over who got to like read that character out loud? I'm assuming you guys loud, but
It's more like me
out.
fighting for Josh to like he's
She's very dominating when it comes to reading scripts.
well, no, but like, for example, we just did that Hot Wheels thing, and we had this great singer
That's
do it,
true.
and there was like this announcer part, and I was like, Josh, just get in there. It's got to be gritty. Like, just do like a wrestler voice or something. And
Yeah,
he's like, no, I'm not gonna do it, and it ends up like making the record, of
Yeah.
course, like
Of course.
that kind of stuff where like it's a lot of me pushing him, like you should sing this, or you should write this, or you should, and
Yeah.
getting Josh out of his shell a little bit in that way, because I really love all of it. If I can,
Charity's all over it.
yeah, if I can do any type of like acting or singing or voice acting, or if anything makes it through.
But we love reading scripts together, and like we'll never start a song before if there's a script, we'll read the entire thing, even if we're just accounting for a small little part of it.
Josh, like in case anyone's thinking of hiring us, we're very
Right. Yeah. We're very thorough. We
We always read the
we
script.
read the script. We don't skip.
We don't skip. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. We love it.
Signs, all of it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Stage direction.
Yes. Go ahead.
you're breaking up. This is all right. And so in getting that material and going through it, again, like we were saying, you're doing so much stuff for characters. Do you do stuff for yourself? I know Charity, you've released some music in the past. Are you looking towards doing more of that and kind of seeing what else you can do? And Josh, you've worked with a ton of interesting people as well.
Yeah. I mean, again, I think. Well, I mean, she can speak to kind of her as an artist, but yeah, I mean, we're always open to just doing anything and working, and we've been fortunate to have opportunities to work with a lot of really cool people. Myself working with like the Beach Boys, and we worked on a Ringo Starr song, and like, I worked with the OJs, like definitely. I mean, the Goo Goo Dolls. There's so many cool artists that like we've had a chance to work with that like from my experiences
And also Blues Clues,
and
who's
Blues
like
Clues.
just as famous as Ringo Starr.
That's true.
Oh, easily. Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we get a lot of opportunities to do that. We do have I mean, I don't know if you want to talk about Hialeah High, but we do have a band that we kind of have started that's kind of about where Charity grew up in Hialeah, Florida. And and it's been doing pretty cool. I mean, it's been doing pretty good. We got some placements on a Netflix show, and John Cicada. I don't know if you know John Cicada.
Oh, yes.
He shouted us out.
It's
on
kind of like
Instagram.
Spanglish, but it's just fun. It's something for us to really just be 100% ourselves. I think, speaking to like wanting to release our own music with our own voice, we've definitely found more of a need of that as we're going. We're just like, hey, like, let's lose the script sometimes. And like, it's nice to just write what we're feeling and make it irreverent and make it just stuff that we love to hear and not feel the pressure of, it finding an audience and just kind of creating for ourselves. And we absolutely feel like that outlet is necessary. And when we have ideas, we get them down and we work on them. And for me, it's like, as an artist, when I have something, I put it out, and when I don't, I don't. So I feel like it's just like a nice outlet for me to have that and not feel like, oh, this is my only path, if that makes any sense. We just like to be able to have fun and not feel, any kinds of restrictions. Just right.
Well, and I think too, between all the stuff you're doing for television and trying to raise another human being, you've got oodles of free time to just sit around and go,
That's right.
how am I feeling about this?
Like, what are we
Right.
gonna do?
Yeah. We just Once upon a time, we were like, all of our minutes belong to us.
I know.
And now we're like finding those windows.
Oh,
It's a change.
it's a big change.
Yeah.
Josh, do you ever see Mike Love without that hat?
Without his hat on?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Well, no, actually, I have seen him.
Oh,
because
okay.
So when I did I did a Christmas album with him. I actually got to go to his house in Lake Tahoe, and I stayed with them for about a week and a half. So I got to see him in his morning pajamas.
So he
That-
doesn't sleep in that hat.
Pretty amazing.
He doesn't sleep in that hat.
Wow, okay.
And actually, he had like out by his garage, there was like a whole like 2 garbage bags full of hats.
I knew it.
And I'm not even kidding you. It was just full of like
That's
the
so
same
funny.
type of hats
Yeah, right? It's like
that people.
in cartoons, like they have like it's the closet's the same outfit that they
Yeah,
wear.
exactly. No, Charlie
Like the
Brown
whole-
only has that yellow shirt with the squiggle on it, of
It's
course.
like the Homer Simpson uniform in there.
No, he's got his uniform. It's amazing.
But
Did one
they're,
of the
like,
accidentally disappear from that bag and end up in your closet?
No, I
he would
probably
have
should.
given you one. They
No,
are
he told me to
such
take.
lovely people.
He
like,
told me to take some, and I didn't take them.
I feel like
But
they're him and his family. If you were like, "Hey, I want this," they'd be like, "Take it. I'm gonna take this sculpture from your house." They'd be like, "It's yours." They're just
Does the whole family wear hats?
Not all of them. No.
Okay, all right.
I think just kind of his thing.
Okay, I don't want to go down this hat, rabbit
know.
hole, but
I
it's
It's a
Just
good
stop and go down the go to like the breakfast. Like,
Yeah.
what did you have for breakfast?
Yeah.
Oh, they had a private chef for us, so it was nice.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Omelets made to order. It was awesome.
That's-
That was a very cool
It
thing.
was one of the cooler experiences I think I've had in my life, to be able to go out there, and all the guys were, Bruce Johnson was out there, all the guys were there, and they would just sit around and talk about the old days, and it was just so cool being a fly on the wall, like having them talk. I mean, he would talk about his all the issues with Brian Wilson, and but he has so much love for Brian Wilson and all those guys, and I have such a respect for Mike Love, because the one thing I will say that he's done is he just wants to keep the Beach Boys legacy alive out on the road,
Mhm.
and they've been touring and
Nonstop. I mean, he goes like he's like still a rock star. Like, they tour an insane amount, and he does those long. I mean, we've been to the shows. They're long and laborious, and he is just like rocks out the entire time, and he kills it.
He does.
So for all of the various things that you've done and the places your music has ended up, things like, being performed on Good Morning America, American Idol, these things that are just sort of other shows that don't have America in the title, the things, the Macy's Parade, there we go. These things that I feel like Love Island, that everybody knows about, everybody is aware of. Is there, does anything of places your songs end up surprise you ever? Are you
All
ever
the
just like,
time.
huh?
Yeah.
All the time. I think too, everything kind of starts off the same way. Like we're in this windowless studio, just us a lot of times. It all kind of starts with just like a rough idea. Like sometimes it starts off bad and it has to find its way. Like everything, we approach everything the same way. And then you just kind of watch things get released or not. I mean, we've had some fantastic failures, like amazing
Yeah.
things that'll blow your mind. Um, and sometimes you just don't know how it's going to do. And sometimes we think, oh, this thing is going to be amazing, or the next big thing, and it's like this really quiet fizzle. And then things just like Descendants, for example, where we just were passing out Halloween candy at our friend's house, and every kid and sometimes their parents were dressed in this
In the
Descendants
part.
costumes. And this was the first movie, and it was like a month after it came out. And I look at Josh and I'm like, is this thing like hitting or something? Like every kid is in the outfit.
Yeah, it was huge.
And I mean, a month later, it was like everywhere. But those things we just didn't know what it was. We read scripts, everything starts off brand new, and you just don't know what's going to raise its hand. And sometimes it's not the things that you would expect, and sometimes you're just like, this is going to be, I think reading that script, we knew it was going to have a place because it's classic Disney meets like new Disney, and it Kenny Ortega, who's like a legend.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, this has like all of the ingredients of like just the next thing, but you still never know. It could, but it's gone on. I mean, that song has been performed on Dancing with the Stars, and it's been re-recorded in every language, and it's at Disneyland during Halloween, and you'll hear it, and it's like it keeps going, and that particular song never ceases to surprise me because it just kind of continues to have a life, and that's really amazing because you're like, oh, did we make something that could possibly last the test, test of time, which in nowadays society, everything is more disposable than ever. Things are here today, gone tomorrow. Artists are like losing their breath trying to release content because people are so, hey, okay, cool, like what else, like. But when something seems to have that stickiness where you're like, oh, this is coming up again and again, it blows my mind, really, because it's hard to do, and we feel very fortunate when it happens because it's rare.
Yeah.
Well, not just, I mean, that, someday your kids are going to be like, oh, my parents wrote that.
No, we're fully prepared to like be not cool for a minute, and then
we're gonna be cool,
we'll be
then
cool.
not cool, and then cool again.
We'll
That's how
cool
we
again.
feel like it's gonna go.
But you'll always be cool with your kids' friends. So
That's true.
No, for sure.
Hopefully we'll be cool, like at least like medium level cool.
Yeah.
We can't ask for much, but
That's all any of us can hope for. I don't think I'll ever get to even low level cool. So
I doubt that.
You can check us out on all the various socials. Be sure to visit our website, and don't forget to leave us a review.
Today's show is produced by myself and Heidi Hedquist. Our reluctant producers are John Sauvé and Sandy Stone. Our willing producers are Rachel Allen and Randy Jeanette. Our intern is Zach Jackson. This one's for Philippe. Thanks for joining us. Flash, we're coming home.
Nigel, is that you? Are you here, Nigel?